In this video, I'm giving away more whitelist to my upcoming free mint NFT Expert Summit. I'm also doing some chart analysis of the most recent hyped thing in the NFT space in the last 24 hours, these AI moonbirds. Actually, they're called nightbirds now, and they had to change their name. But yeah, let's get into the video. All right, another day in the NFT space, another free mint that is at 0.435 here with the AI nightbirds. I mean, Ethereum's tanking, Bitcoin's tanking, the cryptocurrency market's meant to be in a bear market, but every day NFTs are going from 0 or 0.04 to 0.4. That's a 10x gain, in 48 hours. I mean, even if you bought yesterday at 0.2, you've doubled your money in less than 24 hours. You could have doubled your money this morning after the Kevin Rose tweet, but we'll get into that. You're also watching this video because you want whitelist to the NFT Expert Summit. We're minting next month. We're finalizing the whitelist spots every single video that I release until then, until supply is completely capped. There'll be no public sale, fully just a whitelist mint only, no Discord grind, just keeping it plain and simple. But super excited, and I know you are too, and I know you guys just want easy ways to get whitelist, so I'm here to please you. I'm giving out like really easy whitelist everywhere. So as usual, there'll be a Google form in this below this video that you can fill out, and I select 69 responses just randomly from that Google form and add you into the Discord via email. Make sure you check your junk and spam folder, by the way, because I am getting a few emails back saying, hey, I completely missed this email. It was in my junk. I'm sorry. So make sure you do that to make sure you haven't missed out and you actually have got whitelist. We are also running a meme contest. So we've got some memes here. We'll chuck in the corner. Been loving them so far. We'll keep that running. But yeah, at the moment, I'm giving the best 69 memes on Twitter automatic whitelist. It's basically as easy whitelist as you can get at the moment. Because all you have to do is put in a quality meme and show that you actually understand the project and understand me and what I'm trying to achieve, and yeah, you'll get whitelist. So go to your Twitter, just chuck a meme up there. Don't reply to me, actually. That's what some people are doing. Like, don't respond to one of my tweets. You actually have to put it on your own Twitter and just tag me and put the meme up there. And then the other way I'm giving away whitelist is I'm doing a bunch of Twitter spaces at the moment, so just keep a lookout for me appearing on random Twitter spaces because I'm giving whitelist out to anyone who jumps on a Twitter space as well. And I'm approaching 10,000 followers on Twitter. So when we hit 10,000 followers, I'll put a Discord link up on my Twitter, and the first 10 people to get into the Discord will get automatically whitelisted because it's a closed Discord. No one's allowed in the Discord. I didn't want a Discord. The Discord is purely only for people that are whitelisted for the project and are going to attend the NFT Expert Summit. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. The news of the last 24 hours are these AI nightbirds. So Kevin Rose did a tweet this morning because he was loving all the derivatives coming out. Well, I don't know if he was loving them, but all these degen derivatives. But one that came out are these artificial intelligent moonbirds, and they're really unique. We've got them up on the screen behind me on NFT Nerds. Shout out to NFT Nerds, by the way. Where the moonbird art is basically done by generative art, artificial intelligence, and from a distance it just looks like pixel art, but when you get really close they've actually got like a picture in a picture that's been determined by generative art. But yeah, I can see why these have taken off as a derivative because they are really unique. And as a moonbird holder myself, like I just instantly fell in love with them. I went and sought out my particular moonbird and tried to find the generative art version of it. I know a lot of my moonbird holder mates are doing the same and buying. And then a lot of people that never had a moonbird and wanted one have bought in as well. So it makes complete sense that the price action has gone up the way it has. And this is going to be really important when you're trying to think of like what derivative projects are going to fly and what aren't. We remember one from late last year, which is the Little Baby Ape Club mint. Controversial as it was, because not only was it stolen art, but some of the art in there was racist because the artist was an actual racist. But that aside, that was a stealth mint that was a free mint and blew up to nearly a 1 ETH floor. Incredible play. I made a lot of money out of that play, and so did a bunch of my friends in Hideout. And we were chatting about why that particular stealth mint went so hardcore compared to a lot of other degen plays. And it was for the reasons I just talked about. Like, the art was actually quality. It stood out compared to a lot of the other degen and stealth mints out there and derivative mints out there. And the other thing it did was it gave a reason for blue chip holders to buy in. So these little baby ape clubs, a lot of the Bored Ape Yacht Club owners went and found their little baby versions of these apes and bought them because they wanted to create their own like Bored Ape little family, right? And so that had a huge wave of new buyers ape in. A lot of people that were following famous people's wallets, famous traders' wallets, aped in because they saw them buying. And we saw the same kind of situation here with these AI moonbirds. So when you see stuff like this and you can see that they have differentiation, that can be really cool and kind of give you a little check off in your head to go, this could actually run, this could actually do quite well. But we were discussing it in my NFT Expert Summit group yesterday with some of the experts and the whitelisted people. It was a really cool conversation because we were analysing the charts together and we were looking at where they were yesterday, and they kept hitting this wall at around 0.3. And a lot of people were asking, oh, is it still a good time to buy in? And at the time, it definitely wasn't, because we were looking at the charts, and I think I'll get the charts up here in post-production, but we can see they kept having this huge listings wall and volume was dying down during that time. That made it look like it wasn't going to break through that 0.3 wall. And sure enough, we were right. So it was a high risk play to buy in back then, and floor dropped down to, it looks like around 0.17, 0.18 before Mr. Kevin Rose himself came on Twitter today and did a tweet linking straight to the OpenSea page. I mean, it was interesting that Kevin Rose had actually talked about this project before, right? Yeah, and on Twitter, and it didn't actually pump that hard, whereas his tweet this morning just actually made them fly. And we think it's because he linked directly to the OpenSea, so it made it imply that he was directly kind of endorsing the art. Who knows? Anyway, the last hour and a bit has been absolutely wild. We saw them go right up to 0.5. And same thing. We had a look at the sell walls, we had a look at the momentum, we had a look at the volume, and it just looked like they were going to, well, it looked like they were going to break 3.5 at one point. But I didn't want to buy in because I was like, really want to see this 0.5 sell wall break down before I ape into something like this. Because if I was buying at 0.4, realistically, if it didn't break the 0.5 sell wall, my exit would be about 0.49, which after 5% fees isn't the greatest. You're taking on a fair bit of risk to do that. And the risk is that the price really dumps as undercutters try and get out and try and exit, thinking that it was going to break that 0.5 wall. So what we saw happen on the charts is, yes, it hit 0.5 and then dumped pretty quickly back down to 0.33, I think was the local bottom. And that's what I'm talking about. People were expecting it to break 0.5 and didn't. And so as it started dumping, they just undercut, get out. I've overinvested. I'm too scared to lose money here. And it just dumps pretty hard before bouncing back up. And this is like the classic McDonald's Golden Arches formation where it's like dump back up. And now we're just sitting kind of pretty here at 0.5. Volume is definitely like died off compared to what the mania that it was before. So I can see these like chilling at 0.45 for a bit and then maybe like collapsing back down, not too hard, maybe settling at like 0.38 or 0.39. We'll see what happens. I could be completely wrong after this video. But the moral of the story and the lesson of the story is that, this stuff is like insanely risky. And I am not a financial advisor. It's a good time to remind you. NFTs are insanely risky. Like, you can lose everything that you invest when you invest in it. So don't recommend you doing it unless you know what you're doing, or playing with money that you can afford to lose. So this is no different. When you saw the pump going here, it's like, oh, well, most people have already made 10x if they bought in at 0.4. If they bought in at 0.2, they've made double their money. On a day where Ethereum is absolutely tanked, cryptocurrencies in a bear, that's a huge amount of money and a huge play for people. So realistically, we want to be trying to make those plays. You don't want to be the people trying to buy at 0.4, at 0.5, trying to hope that it breaks through that thick 0.5 wall, if that makes sense. So that was the bit of the summary with the AI Nightbirds. Let's get into the questions. Okay, home run mints. I've talked about it before on this channel. So home run mints is the mints that I call the closest thing to a sure thing in the NFT space. it's really important for if you're dealing with really low liquidity or a really low wallet balance, and you don't have that much ETH to play with or Solana to play with, whatever platform you're playing on, you want to protect that last little bit like it's everything. This worked for me, and it was how I was able to go from really low balance to a multi-ETH portfolio really quickly, is I was just really protective of what I aped into, what I minted, definitely didn't buy anything on secondary, and just waited for those home run mints. So this question around how to find those is really important. So we've got two types of home run mints that we can go for. The ones that you guys are probably all used to are the ones that we've seen over the last 6 months, which is the super hype projects, the ones that have hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter, the ones where everybody's talking about it. It's really hard to get whitelist, and the only way to get whitelist is to like win a competition or just grind in the Discord. Now, usually those home run mints, there's maybe like 2 or 3 a month, but usually they start off at least like a 4 to 5x above mint price, which is like insane, right? For us to be able to make that kind of money just by grinding in a Discord or something. You know, grinding in Discords gets shat on a lot by a lot of people, but reality is it can be worth it and it can be insane money. I think I've talked about before. I've had mates of mine that grinded the Hape Beast Discord for like 3 weeks. Now, Hape itself, mint price, floor price, I don't even know what it is. We'll chuck it up in the corner there maybe. But I did gather it's pretty bad. But at the time, I think it hit like a 10 ETH floor straight after mint. And at the time, I think ETH was 4,000, so it's like $40,000 ROI from grinding in your Discord. That kind of thing is life-changing money. And that kind of thing is the way to approach home run mints if you're dealing with like a low bank balance, right? So it's finding those sort of things. Now, what we're seeing lately, the meta has slightly changed and shifted because we've seen a few of these home run mints recently not do as well as they usually had. And that's a sign that the meta in the market is changing. And NFT meta changes so quickly. Like everyone talks about how this space is like got ADD, how it's, 1 month in NFTs can be like the equivalent of 10 years. And it kind of feels like that because stuff changes so quickly. But what's working at the moment is not these hyped mints, but these degen plays, these stealth plays, these free style mints. You know, the free mint with the AI birds, the free mint with the Goblin Town. There's been a few more that I've mentioned on here, have just done extremely well. And free mints are great because they're free. You just have to pay gas. Remember to practice really good wallet security with free mints, by the way. Another disclaimer, I'll definitely put one of my other videos in the corner for you guys to watch where I answer a question around wallet security with free mints, because you can lose everything. You can have your wallet completely wiped if you mint the wrong free mint. So make sure you always use a burner wallet. You don't have any NFTs in that wallet, and practice good wallet security. But to actually answer the question, how do we find these degen mints? 2 ways. You've got to be following the charts. You've got to be following Etherscan. You've got to be using Mobi, Icy Tools, any of these charts that are tracking what kind of volume of mint is happening at any second of the day. And you're going to be watching those like a hawk. I used to do this all the time and just sit there and just watch and wait and see what mints are kind of getting volume, what mints are kind of getting traction, and particularly the ones that are free, right? And I'd always have a look at what the marketplace is doing, what people are actually minting, how many people are minting, and then follow the golden rule of minting, 75% rule. It's just an easy rule to go by if you're thinking about whether to ape into a free mint or not. If it looks like they're going to mint more than 75% of their total supply, it's a good sign that they will sell out, and so therefore the risk of you minting and it not selling out is lowered. So a lot of the time people will wait until the 75% of mint to ape in. The only problem with doing that is you knowing that hundreds of other people are doing that as well. So if you wait too long, till after the 75% mark has been minted, you risk missing out completely. So it's a bit of a balance. You don't want to be the first 10% of people minting, because you could just be sitting there with something minted that no one will ever find. But you don't want to do it too late after that 75% rule, because you'll miss out for sure and your transaction will fail and you'll miss out. So that's the main way. If you don't know how to read charts, how to read Etherscan, how to look at these tools, well, the best place to learn is in the NFT Expert Summit, because I'm bringing in experts at this exact thing to teach you guys exactly how to do that. And so by teaching you guys how to do that, you should be able to make heaps of money doing this sort of strategy ongoing. So as I said, this is a great utility for a project. I think like no other projects, as far as I know, help educate people on how to actually make money and how to make plays in the space. So really excited about that particular class. But if you don't get into the NFT Expert Summit and you don't know how to do it yourself, the other way to do it is, find other Discord groups. Find groups that specialize in this thing. It can be really, really difficult to be across everything in the NFT space. Stuff is happening all the time. There is just constantly mints happening. You know, you got to live your life. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, like I've got a life as well. And so being part of other alpha groups and other communities can be really beneficial in that way, because they can find things that you might have missed because you were away from the keyboard at that point of time. So, and they can be like, hey, this is just minting, get on it, and you can go quick. And I've made a heap of money from that kind of thing as well. And shout out to my friends at Hideout, particularly because, they're so good at this kind of thing. So they're the main ways to really find the home run kind of mints right now. Those huge, highly hyped projects that only a couple have come through a month, and these degen style free stealth mints. But the key is you've got to get it in there early, because if you don't get in there early, you end up just being exit liquidity for everyone else. And I think I talked about this before, like with these AI birds and these goblins, like my style of minting this stuff is I get in and get out pretty quickly with these stealth mints. There's no way I would have held the Goblin Town to 2 ETH. There's no way I would have held these AI Moonbirds to what they are now, 0.48. So they are slowly climbing, which is interesting just in the time of this video. But we're still looking at a sell wall of like 130, 130 below 0.5. But we're getting like 20, 30 sales every minute. It'll be interesting. They could actually break through 0.5 whilst we're filming this video. And if they do, they could run. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they break that wall. But that's the end of this video, I think. In summary, just be super careful with what you're aping into on secondary. If you've got a low bank balance, like I've always thought to myself, if I ever get into the position where I only have like a few ETH left liquid, then I'm just creating a blanket rule for myself and not aping into secondary on anything and just only going after mints. So hopefully my strategies of finding those home run mints are beneficial to you. And remember, the NFT Expert Summit is minting next month. If you want to get whitelist, all you have to do is keep subscribed to my Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube.